Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. I have the Hubsan Zino Mini Pro with me today. I'm up at Lucky Peak Reservoir on a cold autumn day. It's probably about 40 degrees, but fortunately the sun's out, so that's okay. I just did a flight with the Mavic 3 and man, my fingers started to get cold, so we're gonna get some cold fingers again flying this guy around. So the other day, Hubsan released another firmware update for this drone. And I know one of the things it did is it unlocked the 40 megapixel pictures that you can take with it. 8K, I think it says 8,000 by 6,000 resolution on the pictures. So I don't know, we'll take it out here, we'll try that out. They made some improvements to the camera, to this 1/1.3 sensor on this guy with the 1.85 f-stop on it. Focal length, or focal aperture, I should say. I'm going to get my phone out and I'm going to look at the notes and tell you just exactly what this update did. Okay, so for the transmitter, it updated to firmware version v1.3.5. It improves connection between the phone and the app, and you know that's been a big deal with this drone. A lot of people, including me, have had problems where it just says that the mobile device is not connected or whatever, when we know that it is. So, and by the way, I'm going to use my aftermarket cable. I've just found that those Hubsan cables are not as reliable as I'd like, so my suggestion is to go out and buy a good aftermarket OTG cable. So in this case, it's going to be a micro USB to, in my case, an Apple connector. Then it says it added a power saving mode, so whatever that means to the transmitter, I'm not exactly sure what that means. Let's look at the aircraft. So it added a strong wind warning to the flight controller. Camera settings, just like we talked about, it added that 48 megapixel shooting. It added night mode, and it added exposure metering, improves daylight dynamic range and quality. So that should be interesting. Well, you know, I guess what I'll say about that is what we're looking for is some good quality video out of this guy. Now, I've still, even on the last time I had it out, I saw some issues with a little bit of focus issues and saw a little bit of jello in the video, and so it's not as sharp as what I would like. I understand that some people have said that if you put it in sunlight mode, that you get the best results. So you know what, we'll probably do that today to see what it looks like. So we're just I'm mainly interested in the overall quality of the video that we see today, the connection to the drone. When the last time I had it out with the last firmware update, I was out 500 meters and lost connection, so we want to see how it does. And there's no Wi-Fi interference out here, so it should do well. Although this can be a difficult GPS area at times because you're kind of down here in a hole, so we'll see how it does GPS wise. Hopefully it doesn't go into ADI mode and fly away on us. So we'll see how that works out. But then let's see, what else was I trying to think of there? So I guess those are the main things that we're looking at with the drone, and we'll take some pictures as well. So let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Okay, I've got the Hubsan 2 app fired up, as well as the controller and the drone, still in ADI mode, 7 satellites now. So let's go ahead and look at the interface. Shutdown reminder, I got it, so it's asking for a calibration. We'll do that. Okay, it liked our compass calibration. So let's go. It says ready to fly with 7 satellites, but let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got. It talks about the recent update, and of course still that power consumption thing is in our way here. So yeah, we're connected. Aircraft is connected. Talks about our firmware there, but mostly what we're looking for here is the compass is normal, the gyroscope accelerometer is normal, and the gimbal is normal. It says optical flow state, low quality, whatever that means. So I'm not sure about that, but power's at 100%. Let's go ahead and get out of there. And we can't do anything with the camera until we take off, so let's go ahead and do that now. 11 satellites, so that's good, and you can see the drone on the camera. So, and it even says GPS on our LCD screen here, so let's go ahead. We're going to do a manual takeoff here. Sticks down and in, maybe. Sticks down and out. There we go. Sticks down and out on the Hubsan. Yeah, and it's telling me that obstacle avoidance is off. Yeah, I knew that. So this is a pretty steady little drone. This is the steadiest drone, the most steady drone that Hubsan has ever produced, in my opinion. Let me turn it around and get it looking at us. And we haven't started recording yet. I'm going to do that so we don't forget. But I just wanted to bring it around here so you guys could see the drone. We should be able to bring it in fairly close here. And let's rock it back and forth here. You can see that little gimbal working. You can see that gimbal is working just fine. So let's move it around here just a little bit, and let's go into that camera menu. Well, let's switch it to video mode. Let's go into that camera menu, and we're going to click on the little camera icon. Video bit rate, I'm going to leave at 100. I know it'll do up to 200. I just don't think I need that on a bright sunny day like today, and that's me yawing the drone around a little bit. Resolution, we can take a look there. We're going to stay in 4K, 30 frames per second. That's max video resolution on this guy, and I click clear out of there, unfortunately. So clicking on the three dots, white balance, we're going to lock that. So it says it's on 4600. I'm going to put it in manual. We're just going to lock it. Well, that doesn't look good, does it? So let's, yeah, mess with that. Yeah, that looks a lot better. That was way too low. Okay, we're going to leave it right about there. I don't know, maybe even up a little higher. No. Sorry about that. Fat fingering this adjustment here. Yeah, so we're going to leave it right about 5500 there, and leave it in manual. So let's, just for the fun of it, I'm going to switch it in auto and see where it goes to. So auto drops it back down to 4500. But then if I go back to, see, when I switch it back into manual, that doesn't look right, does it? And I go into auto. Okay, I'm going to kick it back. And you know what? I'm going to put it in auto. I'm just going to leave it in auto this time, and we'll just see how it does. Okay, back on those three dots. Style, instead of natural, we're going to go sunny day, because folks tell me that's the best way to get the best results out of this. I've been told to turn the sharpness up just a little, so we'll move that up. Yeah, let's move it up to 7, and let's see how that looks. I like sharpness in video. I know some people don't. I do. And excuse me, let's go back here to grid lines are all on. We don't need scenic mode. Looks like we got plenty of room in our memory card. So, okay, enough messing around. You guys are probably tired of that messing around. And I just lost my screen here for some reason. Okay, so the way this this thing was, it was messing around with the buttons on my phone there, I think is what was going on, and it was hitting Siri. So sorry for that delay. Okay, I'm going to drop the camera down here and start recording. And we're going to do our manual droney. So reverse and up now, and I'm going up because I got a fence right behind me. And we don't need to go very high. So it looks good. I can tell you it looks good, darn good on my FPV screen. We're going back about 8 meters per second. Get you a good look at the little viewpoint peninsula here. And the water in the reservoir isn't as low as I thought it'd be. Okay, let's kind of circle around here a little bit. Kind of doing a manual orbit here. And I see some changes. Maybe I should have left that white balance in manual. I don't know. I'm seeing some changes there, but in any case, let's try something here. I'm gonna center that gimbal right about where I'm at, and let's see if we can zoom on this guy. So and I hear a helicopter, so I'm going to get eyes on him before I get too carried away here. He is a ways off, and he is to our south. Oh yeah, I see him. He is way up there. Yeah, he's way up in the sky, so it's not a problem for us. Okay, so let's zoom in here. And as you can see, we're going to go all the way up to 6 by zoom. And so you can see that on the FPV screen. Now the question is, did Hubsan fix that, and did they correct that on the what we see off of the memory in the drone when we upload it? So I don't know that yet. That's been dysfunctional since the very beginning here. So we'll see how that works when I get back home. So we're back to 1 by now. So either you just saw it on the FPV screen, or we actually recorded and did a little digital zoom there. We'll find out. Okay, so let's kind of go around the other way here. I'm gonna kind of go a little bit faster, see if I can do a little bit faster orbit here. And we're going to get around the other side of the peninsula. And again, today, what we hope to see is just some quality video out of this little guy. Down to 79% battery. I didn't see exactly where it was when we started. I fully charged the battery last night. So, I mean, I charged it up after I did. I had a battery with over 50%, so I did the updates with that, and then I fully charged it afterwards. So, should have been fully charged when we started out. But yeah, we're doing a nice little orbit here. This is I'm going to tell you, the best flight controls that Hubsan has ever put on a drone. This thing flies really nicely and is very stable. You know, you saw earlier where I brought it into the camera there. I mean, there isn't another Hubsan drone that I would do that with. I'll just be honest with you. But this guy, it really flies well. So kudos to Hubsan for their work that they've done on their flight controls, because they did do a lot of work. I guess you just got to give credit where credit is due. Okay, I think we ought to do an overflight here. I'm going to throw this guy in sport mode and drop the gimbal just a little bit, and let's drop some altitude too. And let's just fly right over the top of us here. I'm going to adjust our vector so that we're not flying over anybody else and just us. And there you can see me standing there. And I can hear that little drone. There we are. Let's look over the side of the cliff here as we go over. I'm dropping that camera straight down. That's kind of a neat look, isn't it? And that little drone, boy, is streaking off into the distance there. So let's go down the reservoir here a little ways in sport mode. I mean, the drone it's flying great, and what I see on FPV here looks good. Although, you know, the proof will be in the pudding when we look at what comes off of the memory. And this drone, the Zino Mini Pro, has internal memory. It does not have an SD card, so hopefully it'll look good. Now I'm a little bit concerned as I get out here, because I have been out in this area before and I've seen some of these drones lose satellites. So I'm looking at that satellite count pretty carefully here. Yeah, we were down to 13 there for a second. It's bouncing between 15 and 13. So we'll see. We'll just experiment, and if I see, yeah, it said, do you see that? GPS interference, which, why that is in that area, I think it's because it's blocked by the hills there, I presume. So I'm not gonna mess around. I don't want this guy out there and have it go into Audi mode and have the wind carry it away. Discretion is the better part of valor. So we're back kind of in the center here, and yeah, and that's bouncing between 13 and 14 satellites. And not to compare this with a drone that's a lot more expensive, but I guess I am. We were flying in the same spot with the Mavic 3, and we had upwards of 20 satellites. So no doubt the GPS module on this guy is not quite as powerful, or doesn't suck in as many satellites. But the drone is doing just fine. And I'm telling you, I like what I see on the FPV screen here. I think it looks darn good. So we're going to go down here a ways. I'm not going to go as far as I went with the Mavic 3. But we'll go down here a ways. And gosh, I'm still at over 60% battery. This thing's doing quite well. Let's kind of yaw around here and do a little sideways flight. And I saw that white balance change as we moved around there, as it should. And this, what you're looking at here is just some campsites. When this reservoir is full of water, that's where folks pull their boat up there and go camping. Yeah, there I'm getting a little bit of breakup. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got some breakup there, so we are going to move back out to the center of the reservoir here. I think I had some terrain. In fact, I know I had some terrain blocking my signal there. And by the way, and I saw just a little tilt in the gimbal there. And we're not very high, right? I mean, I got this thing pretty low. So we're gonna go, and we're gonna go into towards the sun here is what I meant to say. Shoot. Focusing on flying and narrating at the same time. And I'm definitely, I'm getting some of those, a little bit of blockiness on FPV. It's not as clear as it was a few minutes ago, but as we get closer, I'm sure it'll clear up here. And it's coming back at about 14 meters per second, so that's over 30 miles an hour, right around 30 miles an hour. There it's slowed down, so we must be fighting a little bit of a wind. Although I don't feel anything right now. So I kind of like this look of the reflection off of the water here. And that area that I'm heading to is where we said we had Wi-Fi interference before, so we're not going to get too close to that. But oh yeah, there we got that signal, that again. So that's weird in that one area. So I don't know. I'm going to stay more on this side then. Yeah, please be careful when flying. We absolutely will. Yeah, and so things are kind of clearing up here a little bit. Let's kind of look at what's going on over here. I don't know that I've ever. Yeah, and I'm keep getting that GPS interference warning, and it's still showing we got 13, 14 satellites. So I don't know. I'm bringing it back closer to us. I don't know that I've ever really looked that close at this stuff right here. Let's I'm going to do something here. I want to check one thing. I'm going to go into our safety menu. See if I can remember. Yeah, our return to home height. I'm going to crank that way up. Well, that's too high. But that, yeah, 118, because if we get close to something here, I want to be able to get over the top of it. But so in other words, if I'm coming in on this peninsula here, and if I get if I lose connection, I want the drone to be able to rise up above that and come home. So that's why I reset that return to home height. I should have done that before we take off. I forgot to look at that. So got distracted there when we were getting ready to take off, and that's something I normally look at. But this is kind of an interesting area here, and you can definitely see the water line there. This is kind of a cool little peninsula. Let's gain some altitude as we come over this. What I wouldn't want to happen is we lose GPS and have an issue here. Yeah, we've got direct line of sight. Let's drop some altitude again. It's always interesting down lower. That's one of the things that, they talk about how high you fly. I don't know. All the cool stuff to look at is down low. So, yeah. So we're about 30 meters up above this, well above our takeoff point now. So, I am seeing that little post there. I want to make sure that we don't hit any wires here either, although I guess we're up high enough that we probably would clear anything that might happen to be there. Just thought of that when I saw that post that by the side of the lake there. I thought, I wonder if there's wires here. So let's just follow this little road around. Yeah, and I realized I was gaining in altitude again as I came around. And this that we're flying over, yeah, that's another one of those picnic shelters. And yeah, you can see the boat dock there. Yeah, let's fly over the top of that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So, they got that set up. It's just a little bit of shade so that when somebody in the summertime, they pull up there with their boat, they got a little bit of shade. They can have a little picnic, or I suppose even pitch a tent if they want to. And anybody that follows my channel has seen this before. That's Highway 21 that goes up into the mountains, up to Idaho City, and ultimately up to Stanley, Idaho. Oh, this is worth looking at here. In the summertime, that is a floating dock that is floating in the middle of the reservoir, and of course now it's just laying on the bottom of the ravine there. Pretty cool. Where are we at battery? We're still at 41% battery. We're in great shape. So we can fly up this guy a little bit. And there's a couple more of those little docks and picnic areas. Battery level at... Well, we're going to cancel return. I don't know why it wants to come home already at 40%, but... So I canceled that. We'll fly up here a little ways. And, you can see here, I wonder, this must be, yeah, this is how you get access to that road that we were following. And look, there's another, even at the very end here, there's another one of those little docks. And we're not going to fly over whoever lives there, and we're not going to bug them. We're going to just turn this guy around. And 39% battery. Back into the sun. Yeah, it wants to return to home. We're going to cancel that again. I don't know, the algorithm, I guess, figures it's far enough away that it wants to come home. We're in sport mode still, so maybe that's why. So we'll bring it home, and in fact, we are close enough here. I'm going to drop that return to home height back down. Yeah, and it's giving us that interference warning again, GPS interference. So I'm going to go back into that return to home setting. I'm going to drop it back down to about 35 meters. 41's good enough. And let's get out of there. And let's do a return to home. And so I hit it on the app there. And if I remember correctly, I can hold the function button down and stop that beeping. And it did. Yeah, that's a neat. I wish DJI would give us that to shut off that beeping. So the reason I did an automated return to home is I want to see how close it gets to the landing pad here.
The current environment has strong wind speed.
Oh, it's giving us a wind warning. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, maybe that's what I saw earlier. Maybe I just saw that yellow thing and I was thinking it was GPS again. But I'm telling you, there's not much of a wind. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's a little breeze going right now, but that's one of the things that they added in the firmware update. So here it comes, and it's about 41 meters high, right about where that return to home height was set. Strong wind speed. Please pay attention. And there's a little drone. It's almost right above us. We'll drop this camera down so we can take a look. Got the camera pointed straight down. Let's see if we get a precision landing. You know that, and it's the landing pad's kind of half in the shade of my Tahoe here, so that'll be kind of an interesting test. And you know, the Mavic 3 can't do a precision landing. Let's see if this guy can. Look at that, right on the money. Right on, it's coming down. Yeah, you know, we got a little bit of a breeze and it's kind of moving around a little bit. It's got the landing pad. You can see the target there. And it will pick up the camera as it comes down. Yeah, and it just did that. So it's coming down. It's going to be real close. And at the very last minute, the wind blew it a little bit off. It's still shutting down the motors. There, the motors are shut down. And it stopped recording by itself. So 27% battery. And just as we land, I hear a helicopter off in the distance. Let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay, the Hubsan Zino Mini Pro. Gosh, I had a good flight with it today. I can tell you the last time I had it out, I was a little disappointed in some of the things. I had some disconnection issues and some other things. So I really want to take a look at the video and see how the video looks. Gosh, the drone just flew great. You know, we had a couple of GPS warnings, and I kind of expected that because I've seen it on other drones, well, other Hubsan drones, including this one, as well as I've had the FIMI X8 2020 and the 2018 version both lose some GPS satellites in that location out there. So I was kind of, you know, expecting that to see. But the drone flew great. And, you know, we flew down the river down the reservoir in sport mode. And, hey, it flew just fine. We did get a wind warning, which was kind of interesting. It doesn't seem like it's that windy, but maybe up where the drone was at, there was. But now, you know, the zoom, we tried out the zoom. So I'm anxious to see if that's actually working now. Gosh darn it, the thing I forgot to do, I meant to take a picture. I was so focused on video that I didn't take a picture. So we will save taking a picture, that one of those 8K pictures for another video, 48 megapixel pictures. But it will be interesting to see how the video looks on this guy, because I'm very interested to see if we get some good, crisp, clear video. And I did use that sunny day function that a lot of people have suggested to get the best quality video out of it. I did end up leaving the white balance in automatic because I was messing around there with it and I just didn't like how I had it in manual. It just didn't look right, so I just flipped it back into auto. So, gosh, I guess that's about it. The truth will be in the in how the video looks off of the memory on the drone. But other than that, the flight controls are great. I mean, it was just a pleasure to fly. I mean, the thing just flies great. So anyway, that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I had fun flying this guy today, so it was good. So we absolutely will see you on the next one, the Hubsan Zino Mini Pro. And you know, that's saying something, because I flew it back to back with the Mavic 3. To talk about how well this guy flew, that's definitely a compliment. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye now.